So LeVar Ball is talking again, and he basically said he doesn't want Lamelo to go to the Warriors because Lamelo is too good to just be doing the fit in next to Clay and Steph and Draymond thing. And we haven't really heard from LeVar in a while. I mean, in terms of just NBA stuff, I mean, Lonzo's in New Orleans, and LeBron overshadowed anything that LeVar was going to do in LA when Lonzo was there for that one season. And I also think LeVar has been more occupied with what's going on with Lamelo than he has been Lonzo. So it seems that LeVar is back, and I think the conversation around LeVar Ball is kind of interesting. I mean, two of his sons are, well, one is in the NBA and one is going to be in the NBA, so that's an accomplishment. And I think there's also something to be said about LeVar's trolling and the way that he was able to get on ESPN and all that, and you can say that stuff put a target on his kids' backs when it comes to playing against professionals. You could also say that it gave them more of a platform to build their own brand. Now, as I say that, I think it's kind of difficult to find the actual profits of Big Baller Brand. LeVar claims it's $1 billion, which it's probably not, but I don't know. Of course, there was the controversy about Lonzo losing out on a bunch of money because of an executive, and that's rough. And I don't know how much of LeVar's fault that would be. Some of it definitely because he puts his name on the face of the company and all that. But the point that I'm making is I think LeVar is really ambitious with finding ways to have his kids get ahead and make as much money as they can in the window of time that they're in the spotlight like this, you know? And it's not just in the sense of Big Baller Brand, but it's sponsorships in general. I mean, if you've got a platform, companies are going to want to work with you. Again, he's basically saying LaMelo is too good to fit in with the Warriors, and he would rather LaMelo be on a team where he can be the star player. And I'm pretty sure the reason LeVar has that in mind is because LeVar knows that that could be the difference between LaMelo getting a max contract on his rookie extension or $16-17 million a year or whatever. That, and also LeVar is confident that that's what's best for his son, being in the spotlight, being the main guy. I mean, LeVar knows his kids better than any of us do, so if he says that LaMelo running the show for a team is what would make LaMelo the most happy, then why would I disagree with that? I don't know LaMelo. Now, of course, we have no idea how good LaMelo is in terms of the NBA. I know he's an exciting prospect for his handle and his passing ability and his size and things like that, and he's projected very highly in the draft, but that's not a guarantee he's going to be awesome. So that is going to be the determining factor in all of this, of course. I guess the question is, would LeVar scare off any teams from drafting LaMelo? You know what I mean? I guess it's impossible to really know that. I mean, for all we know, the Warriors agree with LeVar, and they don't want a guy in LaMelo who isn't really meant to play off the ball and stuff, if you're talking about maximizing his game. But I guess, is it also possible that the Warriors would want LaMelo, and then these comments come out and suddenly it's like, well, do we really want to deal with the LeVar Ball headache? I don't know. Now, I guess LeVar wants that. I think it's safe to say he wants LaMelo to end up somewhere. I mean, we remember back when Lonzo was in the draft, he made it obvious that he did not want Lonzo to go to the Celtics. He even said that Markelle Fultz was the better player when he was on First Take. I do remember that. Not that I think he genuinely believed that, but LeVar in his head believes that by him saying this, teams will listen. And again, it's impossible to believe that. I'm, of course, going to trust NBA front offices when it comes to basketball stuff over LeVar Ball, but perhaps just the overall aura of LeVar can be enough for a team that doesn't want the behind-the-scenes stuff to get too crazy to not draft LaMelo. Now, at the same time, if you think LaMelo's the best player in the draft and you've got a chance to take him, then you're still going to take him. But I don't know. You look at a team like Cleveland, who very well could end up in a position to draft Lamelo. They've already got 2 guards, and maybe they just think, with where we are right now, we don't want to deal with all the Lavar Ball stuff. I would imagine that Lavar wants Lamelo on the Knicks, because if we're talking about maximizing a guy's profits and his net worth and all that, it's the Knicks, no doubt. I mean, you're talking about big baller brand in New York. I mean, the Knicks are the most profitable team in the world, or they're in the short list of teams at least, and that's with them not being good. So imagine if Lamelo was able to turn that around, and I think it's obvious that Lavar thinks Lamelo is good enough to do that. And I guess that can lead me into another thing when it comes to Lavar. Could his constant stuff give his kids too big of a head about themselves? Well, the only reference point we have so far is Lonzo. Lonzo was mature from his rookie season on, so I don't think Lavar's constant stuff has negatively affected Lonzo in that sense. I mean, Lonzo is one of the most team-first guys in the league. So we're going to have to see how Lamelo deals with that, but it is possible that Lamelo could see those comments from Lavar. And, I mean, if Lavar says that in public, you know that he's saying those type of things to Lamelo behind the scenes. And it's important to prop up your kids, definitely. But is it possible to go too far in the other direction, to the point where Lamelo sees himself as above the team? I mean, there's already questions about his shot selection and things like that from overseas, and I guess to think about it more from just a pure basketball sense, I mean, the idea of Lamelo in Golden State, I don't even know if he would start for them. I mean, they're paying Wiggins $20-something million a year. You imagine they have to start him. And Steph, Clay, and Draymond are, of course, going to start, and you're not going to play Draymond at center for the entire game. So, yeah, I think Lamelo would actually come off the bench. And I think when you compare that to Luka and Trae Young and Zion and other guys who have been drafted and just immediately put into you're the heart of this team, you're the everything of this team, yeah, I can see why LeVar Ball wouldn't want that. Because that's potential losses on sponsorships and all that stuff. And again, LeVar, he wants to make money for himself, but he also wants his kids to make as much money as they can for as long as they can in the league. And can we really blame him for that? If we look at other teams where, if LaMelo was selected, how would it go? I mean, in terms of what LeVar wants, which is LaMelo just running the whole show, the teams that I look at where he could get selected and then do that would be the Knicks, the Pistons, the Cavs. Because for the Cavs, I think it would be LaMelo's primary ball handler. Sexton is your off-ball guy who is more focused on shooting, which I think is really what Sexton's role should be. And then with Garland, you're probably playing him off the bench, and that's probably going to be a little bit more of a process with him. But everybody else, I don't know. I mean, Chicago, technically, because the idea is they might need a playmaker, even though they've got 9 million guards. And LaMelo, certainly a playmaker, but do you want a LaMelo Zach LaVine thing going on? That could be a little weird. Charlotte, that could be interesting. I mean, you're talking about Rozier and Devontae Graham already, so that could be weird. I don't know. The team that I'd keep on being like, well, that would be entertaining, if anything, is San Antonio, because you're talking about such a clash of styles and personalities at that point. Now, offensively, DeJounte and LaMelo would be awkward. I get that. Defensively, I think it could work because DeJounte is so versatile, but don't know, man. It all depends on the lottery. I have no idea when the lottery actually is, for whatever that's worth. For all the stuff you can say about LeVar, I think he is self-aware enough to know when to scale it back a little bit. I do remember back when Lonzo was in the draft conversations, I do think there was a thing about, well, if you're going to draft Lonzo, you're going to have to deal with LeVar. And is all that going to pop back up again? Maybe. Is he going to be around more now? Does this matter? I have no idea. 2 kids in the NBA, 1 in the G League. I don't know. But anyway, that's it. Lavar, the Warriors. Shout out to Mitch Richmond. And that's it.